I thought that was a very unique pick.
Yo, what's good?
Oh.
We're back. We are back after a 3-month hiatus. God, it feels good to be back, Kyle. What's going on, buddy?
Dude, it's going great.
What's going on, man? What you been up to the last 3 months?
Being sad football's not around,
That's not
but
true.
now we're happy football's so back.
That's not entirely true, anyway.
No, it's not entirely true. I've been having a great time.
I've been putting in work in the gym. I've lost 15 pounds. I got engaged, dude. It's been crazy.
Oh yeah, congratulations.
I've joined the engagement crew alongside Kyle. Finally.
Yeah, and this is a Engage podcast.
Correct. Not to each other, although in spirit I feel like
An engaging podcast, some say.
not to each other, but I feel like on some level Kyle and I are engaged to each other. Whether that be via football or the Eagles, I don't know, something like that. But anyway, before I get too off topic, we are here to discuss everything that happened in the AFC. Also, hi Spotify listeners. This would be a really good episode to watch the video of, because I'm going to share my screen here in a few minutes and we're just going to go team by team, rip them off, starting in the AFC East. We'll go over all the transactions. We'll take a look at their depth charts, take a look at the draft picks. And then I guess, Kyle, do you want to give like your predictions as we go on the teams? Because I don't really have any predictions yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to get this thing working. It's just taking a little bit.
Is it the predictor?
Yeah,
That's sick.
I gotta go through it real quick. Just go through game by game.
I'm
just gonna be doing that in the background if I'm not really paying attention.
That's fine.
I'm swamped at work. I hate work.
Yeah, I posted about work earlier too. I don't know if you saw the story.
I did, because I beat you to posting about today.
You did, yeah. And the reason for that is because I didn't get the thumbnail done last night like I was supposed to, because I was busy working. And then I was working during work hours today, per usual. And Kyle beat me to it. So here we are. Do we have anybody joining us right now? A couple people trickling in. Okay. I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm gonna have the live chat open. I guess I could try and have it. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll put it in another window. Oh, don't break my computer, please. Don't break it. I'll put it up here on my other screen. That way, I can still share my screen. Oh my! Look at me. I'm a professional podcaster. We're gonna do some sick shit this year, guys. I promise you. It's gonna be professional. We've never had any audio or video issues ever before on the show, so
yeah, never
ever,
unbelievably ever. Never. What am I doing on my phone? Is this? I don't know what's going on.
Is broken in? It's
broken did.
One other note before we get started is usually, look, the show's not scripted. It's broken. No, the show's not broken. Usually the show is not scripted, but we do have scripted segments. We have This Week in Football. We've got, we got the KBTs. We got
a turnover of the week.
We got that. Got one more thing. So we got all those things. This is kind of going to be more of a off the rip kind of live thing because, yes, while I have been keeping up with a lot of the football moves, especially the last 2 days, which I'm sure we're going to get into a lot next week because I want to talk about that. It's going to be
We're not even going to talk about the breaking news of yesterday right now?
Well, one of them we will.
That was like the first thing. We got to give our takes on it.
One of them we will. The other one, I guess we can touch on when we get to Cleveland. But I guess we'll talk about the other side of that deal more next week.
Yeah, you gotta keep them waiting.
Yeah, they've never heard of Myles Garrett before.
I'm sure. There's a ghost.
Anyway,
back in my room.
There's a ghost. This is gonna be more of a.
See the ghost, Matt?
Let me see.
Ghost on my left shoulder.
Yeah, dude.
It's scary.
We had somebody drop from our Arizona trip. It's AJ Brown. He's not coming anymore.
Oh, that's so sad.
Rip. Yeah, well, you wanted to be there at least, but couldn't be. He didn't want to be there. No. So that's all him.
Maybe.
Anyway, we'll get into that, I'm sure, a lot next week. But This is going to be more of a less scripted show. We're just going to kind of give our live takes. I'm sure there's going to be some moves on here that I'm like, oh, he's on that team. So we're all going to learn a little bit today. And then, just kind of looking over at the depth charts. Kyle's, doing his pick simulators in the background as we speak. We'll kind of give our thoughts on where each of these teams are going to find themselves in 2026. So with that out of the way, let's begin here. Hopefully this works. Fingers crossed. I'm going to move you down slightly. Not you. You. And then over. Bang. Bang. Look at that. Perfect. We're stacked. You're on top of me now, Kyle.
Oh, cool.
What's up, bud?
Yeah.
All right.
They're working on this thing.
So I've got the New England Patriots up right now. And we're just going to take a look at the transactions from this offseason, basically everything from February onwards. So they got rid of Antonio Gibson, signed Elijah Mitchell. I don't think that's going to move the needle too much. Yeah, I'll just scam.
You don't need to know
I'll
the
scan this
irrelevance.
over a little bit. So two picks that I'm seeing here, or two signings that I'm seeing here that are standing out to me. I guess three really. Kevin Byard, Romeo Doubs, Elijah Vera Tucker. I mean, you knew that they were going to bolster the wide receiver room. Obviously, yesterday they did, but we've known that for a month plus. Shout out Vrabel, shout out Diana Rossini. So you knew that they were going to try and get Drake May more weapons this offseason. Reggie Gilliam as fullback too. I mean, I know it's a fullback. He's not really going to be in the offensive game, but he's been a really good blocker. I believe he was with Buffalo. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he was with Buffalo for a long time. But I'm a fan of his work. Dobbs, I mean, he's going to give you some outside play. He had his games in Green Bay. He really did. But wide receiver one, I mean, you weren't really going to expect him to be the wide receiver one going forward. Now that they have A.J. Brown, that's definitely going to be the go-forward plan. Mm-hmm. Elijah Vera Tucker is very interesting to me because I feel like that could go a lot of ways. It could be a nothing thing, right? Because, with the Jets, I'm pretty sure over the 3 or 4 years he was a Jet, it was like 50% of the games he played, 50% of the games he missed. That's not a good mark. But when he played, he was really, really good. And I would have liked to see, it looks like that, they did get Garrett Bradbury from Chicago, only for a 5th round pick too. So I don't know if he's going to be the starting center. I'll have to take a look at the depth chart. I'd imagine he will be, or at least competing for that position. Vera Tucker, it's really dependent on whether he's going to be healthy this year. And you signed him for, I'm assuming, basically nothing. I don't know the details of the contract, but I'm assuming it's like basically nothing. And then you had the draft. What did you think of the Patriots draft? Because I personally wasn't a big fan.
No, I didn't really like it. I mean, they traded up to get the one offensive lineman, which I guess their biggest need, obviously, with the Super Bowl being the last game we saw, was kind of O-line stability. I mean, I guess they kind of had a backdoor deal with Howie Roseman, is why they didn't really go receiver heavy in the draft. I think it was the biggest open secret in the NFL.
That's not the only thing that was
going to get traded to the Patriots. But I think that overall, I thought it was just kind of okay. I mean, when you're the Super Bowl runner-up, you're not going to have the best picks. So, and also, like, the draft in general, low-key, not a very impressive draft in general. Like, overall, like, the whole draft class. I mean, we'll see when they get on the field, but, like,
everybody's talking about
right now is kind of the talk of the town. 2027. Everybody wants 2027.
I don't know.
Except for Howie Roseman.
I don't know, man.
Or I guess the Patriots aren't even willing to give it up. So we'll see. But I think that like, considering their draft position, considering that, in my opinion, there's only like maybe like the top 20-ish guys were like really good. blue chip like true
Yeah.
first round grades.
So the pick you're
I think
referring
they did
to,
all
Caleb
right.
Lamu out of Utah, was the guy. I personally think he's too much of a project for me to be confident and say that he's going to be a surefire thing in the NFL. I definitely respect the fact that they went up and, they addressed what was absolutely their biggest concern, which was the O-line. So I do respect it. I don't think it's a needle mover per se. Especially in year one. I think he's definitely more of a project heading into 2026. So, I think I would have liked. Well, let's see what their depth chart's looking like. Let's see. So I know they got a few more guys here in the draft. I remember Gabe Jackus was one of the picks. It seemed to me like they reached a lot, though. Seems to me like they reached a lot. So yeah, we got Drake May, obviously. Trayvon's and Ramondre are going to be the 1 and 2.
Travion may be hit more of the field now but also Travion is a big proponent of marriage in the Bible, which his head coach
supposedly.
is apparently not. So it caused a rift in the locker room, as I heard from.
I mean, dude, that receiving room: AJ Brown, Romeo Doubs, Kayshon Boutte, and Matt Collins. That's pretty good. And then you have Demario Douglas and Efton Chisholm. Like that's pretty good. That's honestly pretty good, in my opinion. Let me just make sure Reggie Gilliam was actually a Buffalo Bill. I'm like 99% sure he was. I don't want to be wrong about that. Come on. Yeah, okay, he was a Bill. He's Bill for 6 years. So Reggie Gilliam finds himself on a rivals team now. So Will Campbell's still there, year 2. I think Will Campbell did solid, right? For 4th overall pick. I think he did solid. I mean, the playoffs, he kind of disintegrated. Same with, Morgan Moses.
I mean, the whole offense in the playoffs
it was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Like they were really kind of carried by their defense and the fact that every other team they faced like imploded, other than Seattle. I think AJ Brown.
I don't see Garrett Bradbury here.
I think he's gonna be really good with the Patriots. I think they probably have maybe 2 good years with him, provided he stays healthy. I mean, I know a big issue with him was like the Rams apparently backed out due to injury concerns. And I mean, obviously, they would much rather pick 2027 pick than 2028. Like he's only a year older than Jalen Waddle, and Jalen Waddle went for, I believe, a 1st and a 3rd. And AJ went for a 5th.
So that's like my biggest gripe about the whole trade was that I feel like the value just was not.
I mean, honestly, knowing the problem is like AJ does have those injury concerns. He didn't play that great last year, but you could argue that was kind of the drama behind him, which we'll get into probably more next show with the KB Grapevine. We have some limited sources on that right now. I'm hoping to get some more solid whispers to the Grapevine before we go dipped into the Eagles side of the trade. But I think having Drake May have like a bona fide number 1 and AJ Brown, who's definitely really excited to be in the Patriots, excited enough to post AI.
Yo, you seen that? That's wild. That's
wild,
bro.
But I think for fantasy purposes, like I think I would really like to have AJ Brown on my fantasy team. But I think as long as he stays healthy, I think he's gonna be good next 2 years for the Patriots, because I think he's just gonna fit their offense, and they definitely needed like a true number 1 playmaker, because last year they had Stephon Diggs who had over 1,000 yards, but he is no longer like that. He's not AJ Brown. I'll say that. But I think it might be very similar to like when Diggs joined the Bills.
Yeah, honestly.
Years ago.
But they're in a much better position.
I think it's gonna be like that. But I honestly, just going through the schedule right now, I'm just trying to get all the AFC in. But I'm seeing the Patriots probably finishing like 9-8, 10-7. Their schedule is much more difficult than it was last year. Just running through it real quick. You got Seattle at home for the Week 1 opener. Ooh, that's a brutal draw. Just after getting smacked.
Oh, really? So Super Bowl rematch Week 1
months ago in February.
That's
Super Bowl rematch week
diabolical.
1 Wednesday night, because Thursday night is the Australia game, international game. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that, Matt. The discourse on the how many international games and how many Wednesday and every day of the week is now being taken over. The lore of football is Sunday football's day, the Lord's day.
You go to
and the
church in the
football
morning
gods'
and you
day,
watch football all
and it's
afternoon.
being taken
That's how
away
I've
from
operated
us.
for a large portion of my
away
life.
from us.
But you know, to each their own.
But if you remember, the Patriots had they had the easiest schedule in the league last year. I think this year they're technically like
Well, the Eagles definitely have the
like
easiest
wins or
first place
strength
schedule.
of
I
last
think.
year.
I don't know if you've looked around. It's
Oh
very
no,
very
no,
easy.
I agree. But I'm saying, they got Seattle. They're gonna have to face Seattle. They have to face Jacksonville in Jacksonville. Buffalo, they got to face twice. Obviously, they still have the Jets and the Dolphins. Those are probably 4 wins right there. They have to go to Chicago on a Thursday night, host the Packers, go face the Lions in Germany. They got to go to Chicago, go to LA for the Chargers. They got Minnesota. They got to go to Kansas City. They have the Broncos. Granted, they get to host them. The Broncos are going to be looking for revenge. I just think it's a much tougher schedule, and I'm just trying to see right now, based on how I have the other teams, whether or not they make the playoffs. But I kind of have them as like a wild card team if they make the playoffs. Spoiler, I do not have them winning the division. He's way too early.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking up and down. I mean, for me, just looking at the depth chart, the biggest question mark is still definitely the offensive line. Go figure. I mean, like Jared Wilson's your starting center. So I actually read that wrong. It was Garrett Bradbury to the Bears, not acquired from the Bears. Bigness. But like it's largely the same. Like Michael Wenu, Will Campbell. You got AVT now stepping in, who's injury prone. Morgan Moses is still here, and then Caleb Longwood, the rookie. So it's very much a question mark, right? And I feel like for a majority of the year, they were able to get it out really quick. They did a good job of minimizing the pass rush just by virtue of getting the ball out so quickly. I mean, on the defensive side of the ball, it's largely the same, like Robert Spillane, Christian Elias, Harold Landry, Milton Williams, Christian Barmore. So it's a lot of the same guys. I think the only notable guy that they've added on the defense is probably Kevin Byard from Chicago, ironically enough. But it's largely the same defense. So I don't think we're gonna have an issue. I think that the Pats defense was solid in 2025. Wasn't a game changer. We didn't have an elite defense, but I thought it was, you could argue it was top 10. So for me, you did all the right things, right? You got yourself a wide receiver 1. I would have liked to see a little bit more incentivization in the offensive line. I think they were a little bit strapped for cash, a little bit more so this year than last year, because you remember how much bigger the spend. They were huge spenders last year. So they were probably tied up with a lot of money, which I totally understand. So it was really a question of, do you want a wide receiver by committee, or do you want to go out and get someone? Because I thought the guy that everybody was looking for was Tyler Linderbaum, who ended up with the Raiders, who I will get into. Big spender Raiders, which they needed to invest in an offensive line, so I'm finally glad they did. Could be an interesting team this year, by the way. We'll see. But yeah, overall, I think the Patriots they're definitely in a more tough position. I don't think they're going to run away. What they go, like 14-3 last year? I don't think that's. I don't think that's going to happen again.
Not happening. Just looking at their schedule, I don't see it happening. I'd be shocked if they get it.
I think the ceiling is probably around 11 wins. I would not be surprised if they missed the playoffs. I'd be a little surprised. I'll be a little bit surprised. I wouldn't be like totally shocked though. But I think they've set themselves up nicely to compete in 2026. All right, let's move on to the Bills here. And we'll just take a look at some of the transactions. They finished second in the AFC East last year. Went to the Offs, as we all know. They had Denver by the ropes, and that was the dreaded 5-turnover game. Just some really bad decisions that ultimately led to. We didn't even talk about Vrabel. I forgot to mention the whole Brian or the Mike Vrabel. I didn't even see anything, but and they're
Everyone kind of got blown away with the whole news of the
Yeah, I
AJ
know.
Brown trade and
Crazy.
everything. Nobody cares about it anymore. The news cycle was very slow
So
during
no
that
more.
stretch. I
Yeah,
we'll see what
no
happens
more
with
Sean
that, but
McDermott.
I doubt anything happens.
He's been fired. Brandon Beane somehow got a promotion. I just don't know how. They just keep this guy employed. They promoted offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Shout out Brady's to the head coach. 5-year deal. And Jim Leinart got promoted to, or they hired him as the defensive coordinator. So it's a whole. I don't want to say it's a whole new regime. It's really not. It's really just. I like Joe Brady. I don't really have anything against Joe Brady. As a head coach, I think it remains to be seen how well he's going to perform in that position because it's really just the same offensive philosophy. You're not really going to see, anything different. It's just going to be, give Josh Allen the rock 10 times, let him do his thing. I think it'll be largely still the Josh Allen show.
But you got DJ Moore though.
Right. So let's get into some of these free agent acquisitions here. I'm looking at Bradley Chubb. That's a pretty good get. D. Altfort. Curtis Samuel got his contract terminated. Never mind. Geno Stone from the Bengals. I think he was on Cincinnati last year. Let's see who else we got. Where's the Yeah, but where is it? What did they get out of it? Is it down here somewhere?
What the DJ Moore was a second round pick.
I'm just trying to locate it here though. Because when did that happen?
The DJ Moore? That was like right at the beginning of the offseason. It quite was.
Am I blind here? Correct me if I'm blind. Yeah, I might be blind.
Maybe.
But anyway, yes. DJ Moore was acquired. Second round pick. And I feel like he's going to fill that void that was, at least a little bit, right? He's going to fill that void that was left by Stephon Diggs. Because you definitely saw it last year. And just like looking at the depth chart here for Buffalo.
Their schedule is so easy. I'm just whipping through shit right now.
The
Lions schedule, oh my lord. Very easy schedule.
DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir. And Shakir really was one of those guys that you thought was going to take more, he was going to take a bigger step forward last year and just really didn't. I don't want to say he flopped, but it was kind of a flop last year for, really just the whole receiving room. And then this is so weird between Keon Coleman and Brandon Beane, where it's like this pointing match between them, where being the GM is like, he's not my guy, not my problem. I don't, whatever. He's on the team, and it just rubs me the wrong way. So from a leadership perspective, I think there's a lot of questions.
That whole end Bills press conference, I low-key forgot about it.
Weird, dude. He's like, I don't want the guy on my team. Wasn't my guy. I'm like, he's like still on the team. So DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer, Tyrell Shavers, Keon Coleman, Nico Hardman. I believe Skylar Bell was a draft pick. Let me get my notes out on my picks. Yeah, Skylar Bell, wide receiver out of UConn. I can't remember the last guy got drafted out of UConn. So I got to talk about the draft a little bit because I just don't know why we were able to let Brandon Beane draft this year, right? Because on paper, I really did like what the Bills did, right? They had 7 picks to start the draft. They turned those 7 picks into 10. They made a lot of picks that weren't particularly sexy, but it gave them plenty of depth for the future. And they did invest a lot in their O-line. They got a lot of guys. They got a lot of depth. at a lot of different positions. Linebacker, safety, defensive tackle, cornerback, offensive tackle, offensive guard. So I like what they did, but it's baffling to me that you could have had DJ Moore and Omar Cooper Jr. on the same team. You traded out of round 1 3 times. You traded out of the thing is like you traded out of Omar Cooper Jr. You traded out of Chase Besantis, who's going to be a starter for the Cardinals this year. He's going to be really, really good. And like Osiris Torrance is fine. Alec Anderson is fine. You could have had Besantis though. And, you look at the guys that they did get on the offensive line, like Judd Bowery. I'm not going to lie, I don't know a lot about Jude Bowery. A couple of guys in the 7th round. Like, I don't understand. Like, you could have had a couple of guys that you came away with this draft and you would have been like, I feel good about at least one of these guys, playing meaningful ball this year. I don't know. I mean, with TJ Parker, so TJ Parker was their first pick off the board in round 2, defensive end from Clemson. I like TJ Parker. I think he'll be a fine contributor. I don't think he's necessarily going to be a starter, right? Because you have Terrell Bernard, you now have Bradley Chubb, and Dorian Williams. I think, and Gregory Rousseau is going to play off the edge. I really think all those guys are going to get more meaningful minutes than TJ Parker, but I think TJ Parker is a good pick. David Igbinosun, I'm not particularly sold on him. Huge penalty problem in college. He's definitely going to have to work on that in the NFL. But just overall, you had such a weakness at guard and just kind of the offensive line in general. Like Connor McGovern's fine. Spencer Brown, right? Deion Dawkins on the tackles. But I feel like if you came out of this draft with a guard or a tackle that you could say that guy can start for my team, I would have felt a lot better. Also, you could have had Omar Cooper Jr., who would have been a solid wide receiver, at least 3, I think, with 2 upside. And you passed on all that just to get depth. I just feel like the Bills are not seizing that win-now mentality that they should be. So I'll leave it at that.
I mean, honestly, they're low-key kind of in cap hell. They can't really do anything. Like, they're definitely like a guy who I think they should have they had the resources offer the trade for Myles Garrett, but they don't have the resources.
They have a lot of good, like, just looking over their depth, like Rousseau, Dorian Williams, Terrell Bernard, Bradley Chubb. On paper, that's pretty damn good, honestly. And then obviously Christian Benford's coming back.
If you look at the cap right now for the Bills,
tell me about that.
Currently, I'm pulling that up. Where the hell is the Bills? They only have like $9 million in cap space, which is like bottom 10 in NFL.
So they just don't.
Actually, it's bottom 8.
They just don't have shmoney then.
They have no shmoney.
Okay.
Yeah, their effective cap space is like $9 million. And they also have like a lot of dead money. They have $46 million in dead money.
Let's see.
Oh my God, the Dolphins dead money.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good segue in a second.
Almost $180 million dead money for the Dolphins.
Well, yeah, dude, that's all going into his trust fund. Guess who the Bills signed, Kyle, for their new fullback? Ben Van Sumeren. Remember him?
Oh, they find Ben Van Sumeren?
He's back, baby.
Ben Van Sumeren.
Yeah, remember how his Eagles career ended? Got murdered on the opening kickoff.
On like the opening kickoff right after Jalen Carter spit on Dak. Or Dak spit first.
Dak spit first, yeah. Gotta get our facts straight.
Oh, they have so much cap space for next year, though, the Dolphins. Whew.
Yeah, they're not gonna.
The Bills have negative cap space next year and I think in 2028. I'm checking. Yeah. No, they have money in 2028, but they have like they're projected to be 34 million under the cap in 2027, according to overthecap.com. So that makes sense that they didn't do any big moves. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I would have liked to see some more shoring up on the offensive line for Buffalo. I think they're going to be right in it though this year. I think DJ Moore is really going to change that offense. I would love to see what that's going to look like. And if they could just get one of these guys to step up and be a solid wide receiver too, I mean, that's really all you need. It's just one of Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Joshua Palmer. I'd say Skylar Bell, but I'd want to see it first. I don't want to say he's more of a project, but he's more of like a dart throw, I would say. Just one of these guys can step up. Yeah, if one of these guys can step up, I think Buffalo is going to be right back in the mix. I would like to see them trade for an offensive lineman at the trade deadline. Go all in for once, man. Go all in.
Man, I still think Buffalo's schedule's low key pretty easy, like relatively easy.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pull it up real quick, just skim the highlights. At Houston week 1. Historically, defenses are worse in the early part of the season versus later, so that's actually kind of a big break for Buffalo. Then you got the Detroit on Thursday night. You got a couple tough games in front. Then you got Chargers, Patriots, Rams. Then you kind of got an easy. Oh, then you got Raiders, Ravens. You got Jets, Dolphins. You got Chiefs on Thanksgiving.
Raiders are going to be better this year.
Yeah, it's actually a little tougher than I thought, but I still think Bills are probably going to win the East. I just think they're a really well completed team. I think they kind of got that Sean McDermott stink off them a little bit.
I mean, they should.
It's like a fresh start for them.
They should
right now, based on my early predictions, I have them at 12-5 and being the 1 seed.
Yeah, I think a lot of that is right. You're going to beat You should beat Miami twice. You should beat New York twice, and you're probably split with New England. Yeah.
That's 5 wins right there.
And that's 5 wins. So you spot yourself 5 wins. You're playing the Raiders. You're playing some of these other teams. So I think they're going to be right in it. I think
you got a lot of these tough teams at home. I think really the toughest game on the road that they have is New England. They have obviously because it's division, but they play them at home too. Is either Green Bay or LA Rams. All their other tough games, Ravens, Chiefs, Bears. I guess they also have to go to the Broncos. That's a tough game. But all the LA Chargers, Rams, or Lions, I should say, they're all going to be at home for those games. So that's a pretty big advantage.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Dolphins here. Kai, I'm looking at the clock, and I think we're only going to get through 2 divisions today. We're yapping a lot. We gotta
whip through this.
All right, hold on. I had a thought that just crossed my mind. What if we give ourselves an extension, and we just do 2 more?
One extension.
What if we just do 2 more shows instead of the 2 shows that we had planned? We do 4 shows.
No. There's 2 shows.
We can make it work.
The people just want to know our thoughts on the teams.
All right.
You don't need to go whole this the whole offseason.
Yeah, well, I'm yapping. I told you.
In the Winnie. We got to stop yapping. I'm back on track. The problem that you were yapping for so long, you didn't have me policing you because I got really tied up at work and I wasn't able to get these predictions ready.
Look.
Also, I have a couple questions to ask for you just in general about the AFC that I think are very thought-provoking, and I think that's what the people want to hear.
I'm saying we're gonna go through 14 more teams tonight.
I think we just give it one thing each, like one positive, one negative, and then thoughts where they're gonna finish.
I can't.
I think that's it. I think you can do it. I believe in you, Matt.
Yeah, but we're not. All right. We'll see how this goes.
Let's go.
All right.
Dolphins first.
Dolphins.
Give one
new
thought
coach.
Give 2 thoughts about the Dolphins.
Jeff Hafley's a good hire.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good hire. I like the defensive philosophy that he brought to Green Bay. Green Bay, if you look, right, he's from Green Bay, right?
Yeah, he's from Green Bay. That's correct.
I'm not thinking of the Chargers guy, right?
DC. No.
Who am I thinking of from the
Green
Chargers?
Bay's DC.
Jeff
Mike
Hafley.
McDaniel? He's
No, they're DC. It was Green Bay.
Oh, they're DC. No. They're DC. He went to. You're thinking of the guy who went to the Ravens.
I for the life of me, I cannot think of his name. Anyway, Jeff Hafley. I like his defensive philosophy in Green Bay. I think he's going to shore up the defense for sure.
Jesse Minter is who you're thinking of.
Jesse Minter. They were both J's. That's why it was bothering me.
Yeah.
So I like the Hafley hire. I think with the pieces that the Dolphins do have on defense still, I think he'll be able to make it work and put something together. Tyreek Hill, gone, as we know. So no more Tyreek Hill.
Still unsigned.
Still unsigned.
He had
Yeah.
a horrible leg injury.
Yeah, it's a bad leg injury. It is what it is with him. He's, guys with that type of speed, it just doesn't last, unfortunately, forever. So doesn't surprise me. I mean, it surprised me a little bit that he's unsigned, but it's probably just because he's asking for a lot.
No, it's also because of the injury.
Yeah. So the additives from this year, Malik
He's
Willis.
also 32.
Yeah, he's also 32. Malik Willis, new starting quarterback.
That is Malik Willis.
I thought he was the best quarterback last year who didn't start to start the season. I mean, you look at some of those Green Bay tapes.
Tyler Shuck?
Yeah, maybe him. But I honestly, no, I don't think it's funny. I think it's like pretty damn close. I mean, you look at some of those Green Bay games and you substitute Jordan Love for Malik Willis, and I think most people would tell you they'd rather have Jordan Love on their team. It's kind of the same. They play a lot differently, right? I think Love's arm is definitely a lot better, but Willis is a guy who won't lose you the game. And I feel like with a bridge quarterback, that's kind of what you need in Miami right now, is a guy that's going to go out there and he's not going to light the box score on fire. He's not going to, throw 60-yard bombs to whoever the hell is catching the ball this year, because I really don't know what their Tutu Atwell looks like. He's part of their wide receiver room. But he's not going to lose you the game. And I feel like that's going to be really important for a team that honestly, and I'll go ahead and look at the depth chart here. I don't think they have, particularly a lot of talent on the team this year.
They really don't. I heard Greg Dortch, who's the tight end from the Broncos, has been like the leader of mini camp, like in terms of targeting.
So I'm just looking at the depth chart here. They
also drafted the one guy Bell out of I forgot what school, but he's apparently a little dynasty sneaky dude. I'm gonna look up his name real quick.
Chris Bell from Louisville. I remember him.
Chris Bell, from Louisville. I've heard he's a little sneaky guy to target in dynasty leagues.
Is coming off an ACL injury this year, so that's probably more of an investment.
That's why he fell in the draft. But I think the Dolphins are going to be.
Pick.
I like to see Malik Willis. I think they have some pieces. I still think they're going to be doo-doo. I have them at 3-14.
Unfortunately, yeah, and I don't know if, so with Malik Willis, I think he could probably get you to 5 wins. It's just looking at
Malik Willis shows that I think if they get to 5-6 wins with Malik Willis, that would be huge.
I think that'd be very impressive.
I think that's their ceiling, but I think in realistically terms, they're probably going to win 3 or 4 games.
Well,
they're probably going to be as bad as I thought they were going to be last year. Granted, because they ended up.
No, they were terrible last year. They were
terrible. How many?
Didn't they start 1-7?
Yeah, they started off pretty bad, but then they started coming back.
Yeah, they came back. Yeah, I think they won 5, 8 games?
They won 7 games.
They won 7 games. See, that's even more. That's almost 2 more than I thought they won.
Exactly. I think this, last year, I remember I think they go 4-5, and Vrabel, McDaniel be fired right away. So I think they're going to be what I thought last year.
Yeah.
3 or 4 wins.
I'll touch on their draft briefly too. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of Caden Proctor. I think he's too big to be valuable at the position. I just unfortunately not a big fan of this pick. I did like Chris Johnson. I thought of he's not Mansour Delane, who I think the Chiefs got a steal with Mansour Delane. They really did. But he's a really good tackler. He's got really good eyes for the ball. And they'll probably, knowing Jeff Hafley, they're going to line him up in the nickel. They're going to line him up in the slot. They're going to line him up outside. They can line him up basically anywhere off the rip. And I think having a guy like that on the secondary is going to help this team out really, really good, because just looking at this defense, they're lacking for talent right now. Chop Robinson, He'll hold down the edge.
I think we got to move on.
Jordan
Spending
Phillips.
too much time on a team that's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah, I just unfortunately I just don't like. I didn't like the draft all too much, and I think they're gonna need more talent. But 3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, they have no talent.
I'd say that the upper end's probably 5 or 6, but I think it's closer to probably 3 or 4.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the Jets next. We'll
Your
wrap up the
Jets.
AFC East. 4th place.
They're
in the
also
AFC
going to be
East
pretty
last
bad.
year.
I don't have any faith in Aaron Glenn. As we mentioned in our last show, or near one of our last shows, they hired Frank Reich as the interim head coach by week 7. Very exciting stuff. I don't like Aaron Glenn. I like their draft though, but I don't like Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, let's take a look here.
I also don't like Geno. Geno was atrocious last year.
Granted,
the O-line in New York is much better than the O-line in LA, but he was so bad.
Here's the good news for the Jets. Here's the good news for the Jets is that the Raiders are taking on a lot of that contract. So I believe the Jets are only on the hook for like $3 million this year.
Yeah, the Jets have a pretty good salary cap right now. They're kind of like in the top 10, I think.
That's the good news. The bad news is Geno Smith is your starting quarterback.
Yeah, Geno Smith is pretty bad.
It's looking. Look, I don't want to shit on the guy. He's from all accounts, he's a great guy. He's a great individual. It's looking more and more like he was a one-year wonder in Seattle, and it was more of the system than it was Geno Smith. He had some baffling throws last year. Led the league in interceptions. Didn't even start in all 17 games either. Just some baffling throws from Geno. You trade Justin Fields to Kansas City, so he's gone. You don't have him. Is the backup Brady Cook?
I believe so.
Oh man. Yeah. What was their? Let's see. So we traded Jermaine Johnson. I don't even remember that. They traded Jermaine Johnson.
They also got Bailey
Titans. I know that they tagged
Bailey Zappi's the backup.
Oh my god, dude, their QB room stinks.
No, they're gonna be booty. Like I don't trust Aaron Glenn at all.
Wow.
But
so I remember this.
They're gonna be interesting though.
Brian Duker
when they get the interim head coach.
Brian Duker, isn't this Aaron Glenn's boy?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is his boy, and like they missed on like everybody. Like they passed on everybody because Aaron Glenn wanted his guy. So we tagged Breece Hall. We traded Jermaine Johnson, which I don't get.
Didn't they extend Breece Hall? They extended Breece Hall.
They might have. I'm not sure.
They tagged him, but then they extended him.
Yeah, if you want to look that up.
Yeah, you get a 3-year extension for $45 million.
That's a lot of money.
$29 million guaranteed. Lot of money.
Kene Nguanu, good kick returner, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I'll take a look at the depth chart real quick. They got Younghoe Koo. That's pretty cool.
He's not that good. Well, what do you think they made the right call at pick number 2 with David Bailey?
Well, so here, yeah, and I guess this is probably the
big thing with the Jets, honestly, is like that they're going to be bad because of Geno and we don't trust Aaron Glenn. The biggest other talking point with the Jets is their first round class. How do they do with David Bailey at pick 2? Paying Sadiq from Oregon at pick 16, and Amari Cooper, obviously you clearly are high on from Indiana.
I really love Omar Cooper Jr. I think that's really. I mean, if the Jets have anything going for them, it's Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Adonai Mitchell, and Omar Cooper Jr. I think that's a great 4 guys. If you can get those guys out on the field at all times, I just don't know how it's gonna work with Geno, and I like the O-line too. I think the Jets have a solid O-line.
I agree. I think the Jets O-line's like solidly underrated. That's why I'm interested to see how Geno does with that. But I was not inspired by Geno's film last year.
Yeah. So with David Bailey versus Avril Reese, right? The whole thing was, I think most people would tell you Reese has more upside, but Bailey's the better player right now, and I genuinely think that's
true. Bailey's smarter.
Yeah. Apparently,
Reese's GPA.
Holy smokes!
His GPA was like negative. I think
it's like under the Mendoza line.
But he was like a 4.0 in Ohio State. So that's something a lot about Ohio State's what's it called? Collegiate program for education.
Yeah. I think David Bailey is going to frustrate a lot of Jets players or fans in the run game, particularly. He's definitely going to help them get after the quarterback, though. The guy's a perennial pass rusher, so I definitely think that they've done a lot to help with that side of the ball. I mean, Jermaine Johnson would have been really good compliment to David Bailey, but no, we got to get him off the books too, apparently. And then you got Will McDonald, who's still there. Looking at the secondary, though, I mean,
No, the Jets
Jamie.
definitely have interesting pieces. I just do not trust their coaching staff.
I don't trust their coaching staff. I mean, but the secondary is like kind of crappy to
And
me.
the
Jamie
secondary is pretty
Sherwood,
bad.
Nashawn
I mean, they
Wright
got
from the
what's his
Bears.
name out of Indiana, D'Angelo Pons in the second round, but that's the only thing they got in the draft for their secondary.
Yeah, D'Angelo Pons, I think, is going to be a really good pick. I really do like that pick. He's a freak athlete. I mean, you got to watch this guy run. He's got like track caliber speed. He's very, very good. I think he's going to be at the very least a rotational guy. Just I mean, he's playing with Brandon Stevens, Nashawn Wright, Azarai Thomas. Like he's going to get time, and I think Jets fans are going to be very, very, very pleased with him. Now the last pick in the first round for the Jets was Kenyon Sadiq. I'm definitely in the minority here.
Omar Cooper.
I'm saying the final pick that we didn't talk about yet.
Oh, okay.
Was Kenyon Sadiq. Yeah, no, Cooper, chronologically, you're right. But I know I'm in the minority here, and it just sucks. Not sucks for me that he ended up with the Eagles, but I really, really loved Eli Stowers. And I really do think on some planet, in some universe, he's going to be the better pick over Sadiq. But Sadiq's probably the safer
probably
pick.
the more well-rounded tight end. Like I think Sadiq is a better blocker than.
He's a better blocker for sure. I'll give you that. Yeah, he's definitely a better blocker than Stowers. I know people are shitting all over Stowers' ability to block in the run game, but I think Mangan's got some stuff up his sleeve. Just let him cook. Let him cook. But I think Kenyon Sadiq is going to add some stability. I mean, he and Mason Taylor, if you get those guys out in 12 personnel and the O-line can block for Geno, I think all sorts of wonderful things can happen. And I don't even think you necessarily have to lean on Garrett Wilson or Breece Hall or Omar Cooper Jr. all too much. The problem is with the wide receiver room for the Jets, you have guys like Tim Patrick, Isaiah Williams, Adonai Mitchell. I don't know where these guys.
Mitchell, goated. We love Adonai Mitchell on the pod.
Don't know where these guys are going to fit in on the offense. I really don't.
Adonai Mitchell's going to be a stud.
I really don't. Yeah, but Geno's got a bad case of noodle arm. Bad case of noodle arm. So I overall I think the Jets made and like they traded up for Cade Klubnik. Like what? Like I don't understand that at all. I know it was in the 5th round or whatever, but I mean they've got a really, really bad quarterback room. The coaching is abysmal. I do think Aaron Glenn will be the first coach fired. I don't think that's
bold.
I don't think that's too bold, to be honest. I really don't. But
I mean, looking at it, like I don't know who. Yeah, I guess it's not bad.
I would be willing to bet he's the betting favorite if there were one. So
he probably was. Let's look it up.
Jets are looking at I don't know, June, gun to my head, 5 wins, 6 wins, and that would be more than they got last year. So I think Jets fans, I mean, they're not going to be happy with 5 or 6 wins, but I just looking up and down the lineup, I think you got a lot of question marks. The scheme fits.
You got 3 first-round picks next year.
You got a lot going for you.
You
got a lot going for you.
3 wins still, but whatever.
Damn,
apparently the favorite right now is I'm checking Sportsbook Review. We probably should have talked about it more. It's Aaron Glenn and Vrabel are co-favorites.
Yeah, but they've already made that not going to happen. They've already.
His odds went down. It was pretty high in April.
Honestly. Yeah, because normally when your coach commits adultery,
Dan Quinn's up there in odds.
You know,
Zach Taylor, Todd Bowles, Matt LaFleur. I don't know why Matt LaFleur is so high. That's kind of crazy.
You know, normally when you cheat on your wife,
I mean, according to
not
Kalshi,
a good look.
Top 3 are Aaron Glenn, Vrabel, and Matt LaFleur.
All right,
interesting, Kalshi.
Let's move on. Oops. Don't get smaller on me, please. Thank you.
Oh, Pro Football Coach is out before September. What odds are these?
Bruh.
Kalshi, crazy
What are you looking
Kalshi.
Oh, Kalshi? I don't trust Kalshi.
Kalshi. I don't know. Kalshi's pretty accurate.
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't accurate. I just don't trust it.
Fair. Because everybody on it insider trades.
That's
so. Who do you have winning the NFC, the
AFC East?
What's your thing? I have Bills, Pats, Dolphins,
correct. I have
Jets.
that as well.
I think Dolphins, Jets are interchangeable. I think Bills do
Well,
beat the Patriots. I think the Patriots are
no. You know what? I have
team according to my early.
I'll
season
take Buffalo. I'll take Buffalo, New England, New York, Miami in that order. I'll put Miami last because I think the Jets are more talented.
I have the Jets last because I think Miami is a better coach. I think coach is more important than talent.
All right. So moving on, we'll go to the AFC North. We'll start with the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously the big move.
Jesse Minter,
yep, big
new
move.
head coach.
John Harbaugh gone. Jesse Minter in. So Jesse Minter was the defensive coordinator for the Chargers. I like the hire. I think it's a solid hire. You take a look at the Chargers defense. I feel like they were very similar these last few seasons to Green Bay. I feel like it's a very similar defensive philosophy where they try to emphasize the pass rush a lot. And their premier move this year, obviously besides trying to get Max Crosby, which didn't work, which was crazy to me that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
They did end up getting Trey Hendrickson from the Cincinnati Bengals, and they signed him to a 4-year deal.
Because they should have probably had Max Crosby because they bailed because they were like, oh wow, actually we could get Hendrickson for a decent contract.
Crazy.
Let's just do that instead. Instead of giving up draft picks.
They also got Declan Doyle as their OC. He was the offensive coordinator with Ben Johnson last year in Chicago. Great signing. I love these young guys. I was actually very high on him for the Eagles OC position. And then Anthony Weaver. I can't remember for the life of me where Anthony Weaver was from. I want to say Arizona, but I don't think that's right. Anthony Weaver. Dolphins. Was he ever with Arizona?
That was part of Vrabel staff.
He was the DC the last 2 years in Miami. No, he's Mike McDaniel, dude. What are you talking about? So new regime in. Looks like they got a new running game coordinator, passing game coordinator, secondary coach, game management coordinator, a bunch of his assistants they got. So whole new
brand new coaching staff.
Trey Hendrickson, obviously the big get this year for the Ravens. They desperately needed a guy that can. I mean, look, they have Matabike, but he just does not stay on the field, unfortunately. They need a guy that's going to play 17 games. Trey Hendrickson is that guy, can be that guy. I just hope they don't get hit with the injury bug, knock on wood, because that would suck. They definitely needed a guy that can consistently get after the pass rush and stay on the field at the same time. So they didn't really make too many other splashes, it looks like, this year. They got Diego Pavia, the Heisman runner-up that nobody wanted.
Yeah.
Who apparently is he said he wants to be the starting quarterback. So we will see how that goes in training camp. That's all I will say about that. I highly doubt anything will change, but we'll see. I'll tell you what though, the Ravens, in my opinion, I think they knocked it out of the park with their draft. First round pick was Vega Owane from Penn State. He's going to be really, really good. I got a stat for you, Kyle. He allowed 0 sacks and 0 QB hits across the 600-plus snaps that he had in 2025. This guy's legit. Tremendous value at 14. Best guard in the draft, I thought. And then they follow that up with Zion Young in the second round. And I think that's tremendous value at pick 45. He's got balance. He can do both pass rush and defend the run. He's not going to wow you with either, but I think the balance is something that's going to be really, really nice. And then some of the later picks, Jacoby Lane, I actually like Elijah Surratt better. These are both wide receivers. Wasn't a big fan of Jacoby Lane pick, but I do like the Elijah Surratt pick. Guy's got the clutch gene. So overall, I thought they had a very, very solid draft. And looking at their depth chart, right? I mean, they're basically running back a large part of it, minus, Vega Owane. Well, minus. I'm saying personnel wise. Personnel wise, it's a lot of the same. Obviously, the notable exceptions there being Owane and Trey Hendrickson. So, I think the Ravens. I mean, they got to stay healthy though. I don't know if they got a new training staff or a new medical staff, but something's in the. I know injuries happen, but they had a lot of injuries last year, Kyle. A lot of injuries.
Yeah, they were definitely a pretty injured team.
So
I think they'll bounce back this year.
I would like to think so. I'd like to think so.
I mean, Lamar's getting older though. Lamar's almost 30.
That's crazy to me. That doesn't make sense.
29. He turns.
That doesn't make sense, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm almost 29.
He's 30.
What the heck, man?
These quarterbacks are getting old. If you look at it, it's. Josh Allen's is almost 30. Mahomes is almost 30.
Yeah, where's the next wave, dude? You gotta ask yourself that. Is it?
Next year, bro. Next year's draft class is supposed to be really great.
Evidently. Yeah, who? Led by Arch Manning?
Loves it. Arch Manning and Dante Moore.
Dante Moore, yeah, Arch Manning, Dante Moore. I don't know. We'll see. All right, what's your Calais Campbell's back on the Ravens too. Look at that.
Good for him.
I'm thinking you could see the Ravens with 13 wins. I mean, they have a second place schedule.
Their schedule's low-key still pretty tough. AFC North still beats everybody up. I currently have the Ravens contending for the title of the division. I have them kind of tied with Cincinnati. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
But I think one of those teams will probably win the division. I think Cincinnati has a slightly easier schedule than Baltimore, considering it's a third-place schedule. But I mean, if you look at the Ravens, I still think they have they have a pretty easy start. I mean, Colts and then Saints, and then they got Dallas and Brazil, Titans, Falcons, Browns. Then they got Bengals week 7. Like honestly, they could probably go that whole stretch and lose maybe one game to maybe Dallas and Brazil, but it's in Brazil. Like that's anybody's chick game. And then they got a little tough stretch of like. They got to go to Buffalo, host Jacksonville, host the Chargers, and then they got Carolina, Houston. They got their bye. They got late bye, Bucks, Steelers, and it's all divisional games from there. But like, I think the Ravens should still be pretty good. Like, I think they're definitely gonna be in contention for the 1 seed or potential, like definitely in their division. But I right now I have Cincinnati with the tiebreaker, just doing this however many months in advance. Yeah. But I would say it's probably them or Cincinnati winning the division.
We'll cut you some break. We're in June right now.
That's true.
Aaron says last year's draft class with Jaden, May, Caleb, Bo Nix, 9 and Penix is the next wave. There are 2 names on there that are just
names on that list are one of them's probably not even going to be the start. Both
they are not
going to be starters this year.
Aaron, I'll bet you anything within 5 years Michael Penix is out of the league.
Well, Michael Penix and 9 are, but I do think
I'll bet you $1,000 in 5 years that he's out of the league. McCarthy, I don't know.
Like 40% of that draft class gone.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, he's got a point with Bo Nix, Caleb Williams,
Bo, Drake, and
Jaden Daniels. Yeah. All right, let's move on. Alphabetically, Cincinnati would be the next one, so we'll go to Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, I just don't trust their coaching staff, but I think their schedule's easier, and if they're healthy, then I think they're in contention. Bang. Next team.
You're joking.
Also, they got DeMarcus Lawrence instead of drafting a first-round pick because they're historically not that great at drafting the first round.
They got Dexter.
Like a generational, obvious pick like Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow.
They got Dexter.
They did get Dexter Lawrence though. That's gonna be sick.
Not DeMarcus Lawrence.
Dexter Lawrence.
Dexter. Yeah. So the Bengals had the 10th overall pick. They traded that to the New York Giants, who selected Caleb Downs. And in return, they got Dexter Lawrence. I mean, you ask yourself this, right? Would you have drafted a Dexter Lawrence caliber player at 10? The answer
Probably not.
The answer is probably not. So,
especially knowing the Bengals' track record.
knowing that Hendrickson wanted out, knowing that he wanted a trade, I think that's the best play that you could have possibly done. And they did follow it up with another edge rusher, Cassius Howell. That was their first pick at 41 overall. And my grade for the Bengals ended up being a B, and I'm not factoring in. Well, I'm not factoring in the Lawrence trade.
Just knowing who was available at that time, you're not like the next
No.
I guess you could have got Ruben Bain.
The only other guy that I would have taken was Zion
Young,
line, who went 4 picks later, and he went
or Caleb
4
Downs.
picks later.
He's pretty good.
You could have gone, but then you wouldn't have had Dexter Lawrence, and I think you positionally,
I think Dexter Lawrence is worth it.
Positionally, I think you needed Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, Aaron, I'm not surprised you're not going with that deal. I wouldn't either. And historically for a team that has not drafted well on defense, I really like the direction that they went, right? With they got Tacario Davis, he's all right. Cornerback.
He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right. I mean, it's all right. Like Cassius Howell, I think he'll be fine. Good rotational guy. You'd like another guy like Shamar Stewart from last year to step up. He was their first round pick last year. So let's take a look at who else they acquired. I know they got Boye Mafe on the line, on the D line that is. I feel like they got somebody else that was noteworthy. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Jonathan Allen. I'm looking right at it. Cool. So they got Boye Mafe from the Seahawks. They signed him to a 3-year deal. They got Jonathan Allen. They signed him to a 2-year deal. So, and then they traded for Dexter Lawrence. They did lose, unfortunately, Trey Hendrickson, who is not going to be, I mean, he's definitely going to be made up in the aggregate, but it's not likely that one of these guys will be on the level that Trey Hendrickson is.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I mean, Boye Mafe.
Josh Allen. Jonathan Allen. That was pretty.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. I did, yeah. Jonathan Allen.
Kyle Duggar.
Oh, he was from the Pats. He had a very weird year last year where he just completely disappeared from that defense. Which is not like a second round Belichick guy to do, but it happened.
Do you think the Joe Burrow trade rumors are legitimate?
So that's the last part of this that I want to talk about.
There's small whispers through the KB grapevine of him being moved.
So
they've kind of got quiet, but they have been whispers of it.
The one team that keeps coming up is the New York Jets. And I've asked some Jets fans this offseason, would you trade your 3 first-round picks? Because it's probably going to take 3 first-round picks to get a guy like Burrow. Would you trade your 3 first-round picks if it meant landing Joe Burrow? And I've gotten a lot of yeses. You would be surprised at the number of yeses that I've gotten to that answer. And it's funny to me, not just because it's Joe Burrow and it's like, oh my God, this guy is like a perennial talent, which he is. He absolutely is an elite quarterback. It's just funny to me that the guy that the Jets want is somebody like Joe Burrow for a guy who's had so many major injuries, right? And it's like, it's funny to me only because it's like, wouldn't you want a guy like, yes, I understand the talent that Joe Burrow would bring to the team, but don't you want some stability at the position? Wouldn't you want a guy that you know is going to play 17 games and not take the extra hit and, slide when he needs to and all that? I feel like that's what the Jets need is some stability because they just cannot keep a cohesive team together for more than a year. They have not been able to do that since
they're not good.
The championship teams. From the Bengals' perspective, it's tough, right? Because you've invested all of this money into your offense. You've invested all of this money into Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You're just now getting around to kind of bolstering up the defensive line, which you really needed to do. And going back to this depth chart here, it's where else would you put that money? Maybe the offensive line, right? I know that they got Dalton Reisner back. I think they got Orlando Brown back as well. They did. Ted Karras, Dylan Fairchild. I think these are fine guys. And then Amarius Mims, who was that 2 years ago now? I can't even remember. But
I kind of changed my prediction after talking about this more. I have the Ravens probably winning the division.
I'm leaning, and I
playoff team.
I really do
fringe
think it's
playoff team
between.
range.
I really do think it's between the Bengals and the Ravens. I think they're by far and away the two most talented teams in that division. Which I know we'll get into Cleveland here and then eventually Pittsburgh as well. Yeah, I'm looking at around. I mean, if they stay healthy, right? Because
I think they'll probably be like between 9-10 wins.
Is it range. Fine? I mean, the last 2 years I've had Cincinnati going to the Super Bowl, and it just has not panned out at all. So I don't know. We'll have to wait till August to get that official prediction, but we'll see. We'll see. That's all I'll say.
That's wild. You're not going to give like your early Super Bowl prediction right now? Be crazy.
You want me to? I will. But it's not going to carry. It's not going to carry much weight. I'll tell you that.
No, it doesn't carry much weight. But like I got to get to my AFC questions for you. I have like the epic questions.
All right, we'll wrap up this division then if you want to ask me. Take a little breather here. All right, Cleveland Browns. Next team up in the AFC North. Fourth bad. Bad. So very interesting, right? I think the number one question is probably who the hell is going to start at quarterback.
Deshaun Watson, calling it right now.
Man, I just want this guy to go away so bad.
Not supportive.
I just want this guy to not exist, dude. Just don't be.
No, the Browns are gonna
go away. Live out your life. Don't bother nobody. Go away. With that being said, he's probably going to be the starting quarterback. And I think that's for a multitude of reasons. And I think that honestly, the biggest reason is probably just because the Browns have to save face at this point. It's a $256 million contract. It's all guaranteed, and he's giving you like negative value at this point. So in an effort to save face, I feel like the Cleveland organization is going to make a valiant effort to get this guy on the field. Shador Sanders will probably be waiting in the wings. I just did not see enough from Dylan Gabriel last year to inspire any type of confidence.
Pro Bowler Shador Sanders?
Yeah, somehow, yeah. And if the Pro Bowl didn't carry any weight,
we watched with him live. He was stinky, dude.
Oh, he was so bad, dude.
Some of the worst quarterback play.
So bad.
The worst quarterback play I've seen.
Justin Fields versus Dylan Gabriel
last season
was by far, and then we followed that up by watching Kenny Pickett get absolutely like just obliterated by the Eagles.
Yeah, no, it was a bad stretch of quarterback play watching live. But from good seats.
Yeah, it was cool. It's always cool to be that close. I will say that. So I didn't see enough from Dylan Gabriel last year to inspire any type of confidence. And then you got Taylor Green, which, I mean, late round, 6th round pick. Hell yeah, sign me up for Taylor Green. If you don't know anything about Taylor Green, Kyle, a freak athlete. Like, think of like a big Lamar Jackson. That's Taylor Green. Obviously not as talented, but interesting to say the least.
Gadget plays if he makes the roster. Cool.
I think so. I think he should make the roster over Dylan Gabriel.
Stinky.
I will say that I was a big fan of the Browns draft. I thought they did really good. Spencer Fanu, who is Caleb Longo's teammate at Utah, he can play both sides of the line too. He can play right tackle and left tackle. They have him listed at left tackle. I do agree with that. I think he will be the left tackle this year. DeJuan Jones, very up and down career, just cannot stay healthy, unfortunately. I think if they could, they would love to move him to right tackle and just have DeJuan Jones kind of be there, but you need to protect your quarterback, and left tackle obviously makes the most sense. And then they followed that up with 2 really interesting wide receiver picks, Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston, each with their very unique skill set. Concepcion, he's got really good yak upside, really fast. He does play a lot outside, which is interesting, but I think they're going to try and probably get him more in the slot. And that's just because Jerry Jeudy, I mean, they're still holding out hope on Jerry Jeudy. He's going to be a wide receiver 1. The guy's got a lot of character issues, I'd say.
Yeah.
And then Denzel Boston was the other guy that drafted. Now this pick intrigues me because I think Boston could be really, really good. He's like a big body receiver, 50-50 type of guy. And he does play on the outside. I really, really like this pick for Cleveland. I think it's going to be a very stellar pick. And then the last pick that I really love was Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo. I think this is a home run pick. I had McNeil-Warren like borderline round 1 before the draft started. This is somebody I wanted the Eagles to draft, very, very much so, and they passed on him. Then I think they did get Eli Stowers, which I'm happy about. But Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, I think he's going to find his way into the starting lineup. They don't have him listed as a starter here. I think he's absolutely going to be a starter by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And now the big news, which is Myles Garrett. Out of town. Absolutely wild, Kyle. Absolutely wild. Never in a million years, especially after that contract that they got him on, I just thought there was no way that they were ever going to trade this guy. But they did. And the Rams got him.
Yeah,
and it's a team that's looking to win now.
Available.
Yeah, so what they got Jared Verse, which I mean,
they got Jared Verse, a 2027 first, a 2028 second, and a 2029 third for Myles Garrett.
God damn. I think they got enough. I think that's probably equal value there.
I think that's you basically got 2 firsts because like Jared Verse is basically a first round worthy player
for
with
sure.
like upside. So you basically got him. You got a first for next year, which is big because like next year is the big quarterback year. So any ammo you could get to move up is huge. And then to get also like Myles Garrett's like on the wrong side. Like, is he 30? He's 30 or he's very close to 30.
I think he's 30.
He is 30. He turned 30 in December. So he's heading to 31. He'll be 31 at the end of the year.
That doesn't concern me. He's a freak.
You're like right now the Browns like are in no chance of competing for anything for at least the next 2 years. And to get that kind of a haul from a player that's like obviously it sucks if you're a Browns fan to like not have the best player that you've ever seen, especially if like you're a young Browns fan. Which why did you pick the Browns? I'm sorry for you. But
can't help where they were born, bro.
Like to have the best player that you're a fan of just gone. That's gotta suck. But like looking in the long view, like it's good. But again, like the Browns suck in general, so it's kind of hard to always be like, oh, looking in the long view when the team always sucks. But you know, they've been decent. They made a couple playoff runs in recent memory. But like the Deshaun Watson, once they had to get out of the Deshaun Watson horrible decision they've made.
Never gonna happen.
They get out of that in like 2028. I think they might be better, and they'll have a lot of capital to be better.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But a lot of ifs, though, I will say.
You know, now that I think about it in retrospect,
but the world's built of ifs. Wouldn't you say? It's always everything's an if.
Yeah, everything's an if.
Nothing's guaranteed in this world.
Everything's an if. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, I feel like because I was calling for them to trade Garrett for like the longest time. I'm like, you're going nowhere. Yes, he wants to like he didn't want to sign with the team because you guys were going nowhere. That was his whole point.
No, I think with star players, this is kind of opinion I kind of picked up recently, but I think like with star players, like I think you should try to keep them just because like they help bring value to your team, and it's like a good example, like show like that we're loyal to stars, and like I think you should try to repair the relationship if possible.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If you can't, then trade him away. Like I guess kind of similar AJ Brown. Like obviously, there's no way he was going to play for us anymore.
Yeah,
he had to trade him, and then Myles Garrett too. Like he wanted to get traded. We're like, oh, we'll throw you a boatload of money, and then they were like, you know what, like, honestly, like you still want to get traded, like we'll see if we can make something work. And then this thing with the Rams just kind of popped up. I know through KB Grapevine there was a bunch of other teams that were interested. I know the Eagles were potentially trying to do like the similar offer with Nolan Smith, but the Browns wanted Jalen Carter, and the Eagles were not willing to trade him up. Like I said before, I think like there's the Bills could have been a team on this, but they don't have the cap room to absorb Garrett's contract.
I'm willing to bet a lot of teams
that I'm
got
kind of shocked didn't do anything is the Chargers because they have the cap room, and like getting Garrett for like Justin Herbert and them. I don't. Why would you have all this cap if you're not going to do anything with it?
Yeah, but it's almost like
question why they weren't linked. I think Chicago and Detroit might be hoping Max Crosby's available at some point before the trade deadline. He's a little cheaper. but we'll see though. I think there is some rumblings that some teams might be looking for Max Crosby, provided he's healthy before the trade deadline.
I don't
and
doubt
he's able
that.
to play.
I
I wouldn't be shocked if there's teams that are thinking after how this Garrett deal got done that they can maybe go for Crosby before the trade deadline. Just keep your eye on that. There's a little thought in the middle of beginning of June.
Middle of this June, yeah.
If you remember, like you'll be like,
swoon.
Max Crosby traded to Chicago. They'll be like, wow, Kyle knew this June 2nd.
Shit. Look
how
how
picked up on this.
Look how smart those guys are.
Look how smart they are.
They're okay.
I don't want to miss the June podcasts. Even though we're rambling so on two divisions.
I know, but
oh my Lord.
You know what? It's all in good. It's all in good fun. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm looking at this depth chart. They got a lot of guys with hyphens. They got Owusu Koromoa. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that first part, Arnold, and then McNeil Warren. A lot of hyphens here. Any hyphens on the defense, on the offense? No. Browns. They've got some pieces. I'll tell you what. They've got some pieces.
They're gonna be like 3 to 5 wins.
Really?
I'd be shocked if they're more than 5.
They've got some pieces. I will tell you that.
New coaching staff.
Yeah. So the coaching staff is what's his?
Todd Monken.
Todd Monken.
The Ravens offensive coordinator. Doesn't really inspire confidence in his press conferences,
that whole process was weird too because
they promised Jim Schwartz the job and
it was so weird. And then he's like, I'm out, I'm retiring. And then Monken was like, I don't want him. Super, super weird.
They're always the Browns. They can't. They're not a contending team talent wise. I'd be shocked if they win more than.
They make some very interesting decisions. They make some very interesting. Oh, they got Elgin Jenkins. Remember him?
Shocked.
Yeah, I think anywhere between 4 and 7 wins. 7's kind of generous.
In June.
7's kind of generous, but
7's really generous. I'd be shocked if they get to 7.
That's like high end. That's like high end. All right,
they're finishing last in this division. Steelers are not going to have a winning record. Saying it here first.
It's
bold prediction. It's not even that bold.
I agree. I have my reserves about this Steelers team heading into 2026. Obviously the big news is no more Mike Tomlin rather.
Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy. So the thing is, on paper, McCarthy was probably the most talent, he had the best resume of any free agent coach. Went to the Super Bowl, won a Super Bowl. He had 3 straight seasons in Dallas with 12 plus wins. So this makes sense, and it's a guy who seems like he could have a lot of longevity in Pittsburgh. So I actually do like the hire, and it's a very Pittsburgh hire when you sit down and think about it. It's just like
he grew up near Pittsburgh, Mike McCarthy.
It's a guy that I could see being there for a very long time.
Will Howard.
So I don't know a lot about Patrick Graham, but he is the new defensive coordinator. So that'll be an offseason. That's an offseason homework for me there, is to read up about him. They released your boy Jonnu Smith. No more Jonnu. I don't know where he went.
He's my free agent because he's linked to Arthur Smith, and Arthur Smith didn't get signed by anybody.
So they went out and got Asante Samuel Jr. Pittman. I really like that pick. Yeah, so I don't know why this is not, unless this was like recent.
Michael Pittman was a long time ago. That was like right at the beginning of the offseason.
Why isn't it showing me this?
I forgot what they went. I think they got for a 3rd.
Yeah, I am looking here. So this is basically just
which I don't know why they got Michael Pittman. They have like 2 big man receivers. They traded Michael Pittman it was even less than that. It was a 6. They got Michael Pittman and a 2026 7th for a 2026 6.
This is a pick swap for Michael Pittman?
Yeah, it was Michael Pittman and a 7th round pick for a 6th round. So they basically did a pick swap from 6th to 7th round.
I mean, the Colts have to be paying most of that contract then. There's no other way that they
the Michael Pittman then got a new contract. The trade allowed the Colts to clear $24 million in cap space.
There you go. Okay.
Then,
that's why.
So the Steelers took a lot of the money, and then they signed him to a new contract.
I said Colts paying
Very
most of that contract. I meant the Steelers paying
I thought it was more than that, but I guess it was a money thing.
Jaquan Brisker, I see they signed. Sebastian Joseph Day. Asante Samuel Jr., I really like that pick. That signing. And then A-Raj, back at it one more time. This is going to be crazy. No more Aaron Rodgers. On some level,
no more Aaron Rodgers is going to be crazy because that was like the last one of like my main quarterbacks when I got into football.
Yeah, dude.
He's gone.
He's like that's a core
really
memory.
Old. He's like the last big one, like of that era, of like our high school era.
Yeah, really, honestly. It's crazy.
It's like because Russell Wilson's gone now. He signed with CBS. You got Brady's been gone now for a while. The Manning brothers, Philip Rivers, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers.
The other big get for Pittsburgh, Kyle, was Jamal Dean from Tampa. Mm-hmm. Now, Jamal Dean was having an all-pro year last year. I don't know if he ended up being an all-pro last year, but he was having an all-pro season last year until he got hurt. No, he wasn't an all-pro. But he was
Quinyon Mitchell, bro.
He was having an all-pro caliber season last year. So I really like that get. Jaquan Brisker, Deshaun Elliott, Joey Porter Jr., Asante Samuel Jr. They really like their juniors in Pittsburgh. I really like their secondary. I feel like a lot of the line.
They still have Jalen Ramsey.
They do have Jalen Ramsey. I'm looking at it.
Safety.
He's been Cam Hayward's still there. TJ Watt's still there. Jack Sawyer. I expect Jack Sawyer to step up this year. So let's touch on the other side of the ball real quick. Who's your QB of the future if you're Pittsburgh after this year? You going with Will Howard? Drew
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph, the perennial.
Probably
never goes away.
None of those guys.
Well, so I think you take your pick of Howard and Aller because they're very, very similar architect. Big guys, 6'5", 6'6". They can both throw the ball, sling the ball. I don't think they're that big, but I personally like Drew Aller. I've talked to a couple of Steeler fans. I seem to be on the outside looking in on that opinion, but Ben Roethlisberger also likes juniors in Pittsburgh. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! Oh man, I just saw that. So I personally like Aller as the guy of the future, but I would expect Will Howard to get a shot before him. I'll say that. Rico Dowdle is a Steeler too. Look at that.
Yeah, I said that.
Oh, you did? I must have missed it. They had a lot of moves. Holy smokes, man. So it's now Rico Dowdle and Jalen Warren. That's kind of nice.
Johnson, if you remember him, everybody loved Jalen Johnson.
I kind of like that.
Maybe with a new coaching staff, we'll see what happens.
I dig that. And the Steelers draft, I thought they had a really, really good draft. Max Iheanacho was their first pick, and that was actually the guy that I was looking at the Eagles to draft before they went up and got Mekhi Lemon. Which in retrospect makes total sense.
By the way, the Steelers were on the phone with Mekhi Lemon when the Eagles drafted.
Correct.
Tampering?
No, smart. Howie being smart. That's what I chalked it up to. So and if you look at the depth chart for the Steelers, the glaring weakness undoubtedly is the offensive line here. It looks like they lost a lot of guys. I don't recognize a lot of these guys. I'm telling you that much.
No, they're not going to be that good. I mean, the coaching staff, I think it's a downgrade without Mike Tomlin. I think they're probably, they're maybe they'll be a fringe playoff team, but I have them at like 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah. I wanted to see more from the Steelers regarding their offensive line. The thing is, if Aaron Rodgers wasn't such a diva, I don't think they take Drew Aller in the 3rd round because I don't think they were sure what the hell he was doing, right? So you got a guy.
The problem with Aaron Rodgers is that like he still has like the processing power because he's like has the And like he's fine from the pocket, but if the O line's bad, he's not mobile anymore, man. He got
The NFL is
destroyed in that game against the Texans.
the
Like
NFL
he
is just
literally
so different.
can't move.
Yeah, you can't move. The NFL is just
Aaron
so
Rodgers always had like a little bit of a mobility. That's what made him.
not
great.
anymore. He's
Like,
42, bro.
Not
40
anymore. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I think
Something
that
like that.
he.
39.
I don't think they have a
39.
quarterback that's good enough, and I think the coaching staff's definitely a downgrade without Tomlin.
Yeah.
Where I think they're not going to be. They're not going to be a contention for this division. I don't think. And I think that they'll probably be like middle of the pack.
You know that they're. I was gonna say, you know that they're gonna at least get 9 wins. They gotta get their 9 wins.
No, they're not. That's a Tomlin thing. I think this is the.
You might be right. Maybe you're right.
This year.
I think
it's a Tomlin stat.
I think I want to
see. Steelers'
see.
whole mantra with Tomlin is that they're all like, "Oh, we're never gonna be bad. We're just gonna be middle of the pack." And that's because Tomlin, I think, is a hell of a coach. I think now that Tomlin's out, I think McCarthy's fine, but he was out of the league for a year. You have an old man quarterback that can't move. Your backups are unproven rookies or like second year guys. Mason Rudolph. And the O line's definitely taking a downgrade. I think they'll be middle of the pack.
The O-line,
I think they'll be like a fringe 7 seed. Best case, I think worst case is they completely collapse.
Oh, you're thinking like what, like 5-6 wins, something like that?
Yeah,
bad?
I think that's
wow.
worst case. I think realistically they're like 7-8 wins, but I think they could go to 5 or 6.
I think their ceilings. I think their ceilings.
I think their ceilings
probably.
9. I don't see them going more. Than
Yeah,
9.
I was gonna say
shocked if they're higher than.
I was
9.
gonna say 10. I think it's maybe around 10.
I think even 10 with the schedule too.
It's probably closer to 9. Yeah,
I'll tell you their schedule right now.
Yeah, so
I do not see them going to 9 wins. Let me pull it up.
Yeah, pull it up. I mean, look, they've got some weapons, right? So I like Jalen and Dowdle.
You got Atlanta week 1. They probably
1-2.
should win that. Then they got to go to New England. They got Cincinnati, obviously, and the Ravens in their division.
Yeah, right.
They're going to Tampa at one point. They have to host the Colts. Go to New Orleans. Go fight New Orleans in French
New Orleans is going to be better this year. The French.
You got to go to Philadelphia.
I'm going to the
Eagles bye.
I'm going to that game.
Go to that one.
You want to go?
I want to go. There's a bunch of games I want to go to.
All right, we'll talk about.
They got to host Texans. They got to host the Broncos. They got to go to Jacksonville. Actually, it's not as bad as I thought, but either way, I don't see them going to 10 wins.
They've got some pieces. Like, dude, Metcalf, Pittman, and Jeremy Bernard. I didn't talk about Jeremy Bernard, but he's he's got really, really good hands. He's not that fast, but probably one of the most sure wide receivers. The
problem is like DK and Pittman are like the same guy, and DK's a loose cannon.
Yeah.
Who Tomlin, has the ability to.
Who should have been suspended for a lot more.
Receivers.
Yeah, I know.
Does McCarthy have the ability to handle these diva receivers?
I think it's 3 things. I think it's the O-line, the coaching staff, and whether Aaron Rodgers is actually a quarterback this year. I think those are all.
Honestly, I don't think Rodgers was that bad last year.
Question marks.
The problem is that he doesn't have the mobility that's needed in this NFL.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you want to do? Because we're at 9:00 right now.
All right. Well, I think we next week have to rush through this. I think next week we got to do a little more prep. We got to come with a couple things we want to say about each team, and that's it. I don't think we need to go through.
I like taking our time.
Every team.
I like taking our time. We're just talking.
I'm getting sleepy.
We're just talking here. Yeah, but what we could do is do 2 more shows. All right, we'll talk about it offline, but you've got some questions for me, so why don't you go ahead
I do have some questions for you, which I was hoping we'd get through the whole conference, but I think these are great questions.
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
So my first question is, on average, I would say, or I think you probably agree with me too, usually per conference, 3 teams don't make the playoffs that made the playoffs the previous year. So what 3 teams, I'll give you a reminder of the playoff teams.
Yeah, just a reminder.
You think in the AFC do not make the playoffs
this year. Okay.
So just for reference,
pulling
it up. I thought I had it. I have it over here. Just for reference, last year in the AFC playoff teams in seed order were the Denver Broncos,
they're going to make
New England Patriots, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Pittsburgh Steelers,
they won't make
Houston Texans,
they're going to make
the Buffalo Bills, and the LA Chargers.
The Chargers, right.
They have to pick 3 teams that will not make the playoffs, and then I'll get my 3.
I will present to you the Pittsburgh Steelers, number 1.
Okay, yeah, it's a given.
I will tell you. Who did I say? What was it? It was who was the 3 seed? Jaguars.
The 3 seed was the Jags,
Who was the 4? Oh, the
the
Steelers. That's right.
Steelers,
And then it was what? Buffalo,
Buffalo,
LA,
Houston, and
and
LA.
Houston. That's tough. I don't know if
It's
there's
tough.
3. I'll give
But
you.
there's usually always 3.
I'll give you.
Usually between
I'll,
3 or 4 teams.
all right.
Conference.
I'll give you 2, and then I'll give you one that could shock a lot of people. So I'll give you the Steelers. Just the amount of question marks heading into the season is a lot more than I'm comfortable with saying that they're going to be a playoff team. But they're going to be right in the mix
Yes.
because they usually are. The other
But
team.
no, that's what Tomlin though. I think they're not. I don't think they're going to be remotely close to a playoff team.
And I
think
know-
that in the end they'll have like 8-9. They'll have like 8-9 wins, but I don't think they're really going to be in the race. I don't think people are.
Yeah, we'll
seriously
have
gonna
to
consider
see.
them in the race.
The other team is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I think they were Kyle. They were schedule heroes last year. I think. Now, they went toe-to-toe. They went toe-to-toe with Buffalo.
At the end of the year.
I know, and it kills me to say that because I really
For the
like.
first-year head coach. Oh,
I know.
gosh.
I don't want to say the rails are gonna fall off. I don't want to say
Am I
that.
the only Jacksonville believer? Am I?
The other team is the Chargers, and it's only because I just don't know about that O-line. That O-line is if the O-line's healthy, I would like to think that they are going to be a team that makes the playoffs. Playoff Herbert again, big question mark still. I like to think that they're going to get there though. If the O-line stays healthy. Now, if the O-line's not healthy and we're seeing a different combination every week like we were last year, I just genuinely don't think they make it. I think they're talented enough to make it, but I'll give you the Steelers. And again, in June, I'll give you the Steelers, the Jaguars, and the Chargers.
All right, so I this is tough for me too because a lot of these teams I like. In my opinion, I'm going with the Steelers. I think that's the only one that I think. If you ask everybody this question, I'm thinking unless you're a Steelers fan, you're going to pick the Steelers.
Yeah.
My second team, I think, is also the Chargers. I just can't trust them. I don't. I think they could make the playoffs. I think they could make a run to be really good, especially if the O-line stays healthy. But at this point in June, I don't trust them enough as I thought I did a couple months ago. But I think so. I think I agree with you with the Chargers there. My team is going to be New England. I think that New England were big schedule merchants last year. I think their schedule this year is a bit tougher. I think they might fringe make it in, but I think even with the AJ Brown addition, I think that I think the AFC being a little tougher with the Chiefs potentially being back in it and some of these other teams that just kind of fell apart last year, like the Ravens. I don't. If I have to pick 3, I think New England's my next one.
It would be.
I love the Jags.
It would be fun to hate watch New England this year. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it could be the Texans.
It would be kind of fun.
I have so much faith in. I was between the Texans and New England.
That defense is so good, man.
That defense is so good.
It got
Stroud
better.
Is not as bad as people were saying. I think he just played like the worst game of his career.
I know.
Last game we watched.
I know we didn't talk about the Texans today, but their defense got even better in the draft.
I know, their defense
insane.
Is so good.
But I don't.
Jags was so hot at the end of last year.
I know, and I love your Jags. I do. I love your Jags. You love your Jags. They had a really bad draft. Now, I don't think that's going to kill them per se. I want to see what they're going to do with the first place schedule. I want to see what they're going to do.
We'll see. I mean,
they were.
The schedule is that bad.
The Jaguars and the Patriots were. They were a little schedule merchant last year. A little bit.
Little schedule merchant, but
a little bit.
It's a little tougher.
Also, BTJ got to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not as high on BTJ as I was last year, obviously. My second question, two-parter actually.
Okay.
So now that there's 3 teams are out, what 3 teams
would you
do you think are going to get in to replace them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So if you had to pick 3 teams now in June that you think will make the playoffs that didn't make it last year.
AFC, huh? None of them.
The AFC.
They all stink. Do I say Kansas City? I don't know, man. See, the thing with the Chiefs is, A, how long is Mahomes going to be out? Because he's not starting the year. I would like to think by Christmas he's back.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit before, but I'd like to think around Christmas. But by then, what are you looking at? Because, like, is Fields going to take
You think he's going to be back by Christmas?
When did he tear his ACL? That was like week 18, right?
That was like early December because that was when we were at the. That had to be no, it wasn't week 18. It was when we were at the Raiders game. That was like what, week 12?
Oh yeah, you're right. So yeah, around that. It was early December. Early December.
Early December is when he tore his ACL.
So maybe before. Dude, he's got unlimited money. You don't think he's rehab? Like, he's got unlimited
No,
money.
that's what I'm saying. He's definitely gonna be back before. He's talking about coming back week 1. I think he's gonna be back by like middle of October.
He's not gonna be back week 1. I'll tell you that much.
He's saying he's gonna be back week 1. Which he's definitely gonna be back before Christmas and definitely before Thanksgiving. I think he's
definitely before Christmas.
I think he's back
likely
like
before Thanksgiving. That'd be crazy, dude. But again, unlimited money.
Dude, I think if anybody's gonna do it, it's
so your question, and what is the schedule? We'd have to check the schedule because you're gonna have one of Justin Fields, Garrett Nussmeier, and Chris Oladokun as your starter.
Hypothetically, he's playing. What's it called? He gets back let's say because they're week 5. They have a week 5 bye. Let's say they get back. He gets back week 6.
Okay.
They play the Broncos week 1 at home. They'll probably win that. They'll probably lose that game.
Broncos probably
they
lost.
Play the Colts at home. That's 50-50.
That's 50-50.
Daniel Jones is also coming off a thing. Then they go to Miami and they go to LA or Las Vegas. I think those are both wins, even without Mahomes.
All right. So I'll get back to your question, right? So
I think they're 3-1 going into the bye, and then they get
you fringe, right? Because you're a fringe wild card. I think Denver's by far and away still the best team in the AFC and in that division.
I agree.
By virtue. So your question is, will you be good enough with Oladokun or Fields to keep you in, the first 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever it ends up being? The other team that interests me, all right, I'll give you the easy one first. I'll give you the other one. The other one is Cincinnati. If they can put it all together, they stay healthy. I like it. I think, and the other guy that we didn't really talk about, who might be on the hot seat, I think is Zach Taylor. Because I think if it doesn't work out this year and everybody stays healthy, I think he's gone.
No, if they don't make the playoffs, he's fired.
I think he's coaching for his job this year, so I think they need to make the playoffs. So by virtue of the talent they have on offense and the moves that they made on defense to kind of get a little bit more balanced, I'd like to think that Cincinnati, if they stay healthy, gets in. So that's my number 2.
Okay.
My number 3 is surprisingly the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, you're not saying Baltimore?
No, Baltimore didn't make it last year. I was under the impression.
No.
All right, so then I'll give you Baltimore too. Okay, I'll give you. All right, so I'll give you.
Raiders. Are you kidding me? You're not saying Baltimore?
They make the playoffs all the time, dude. I just forgot. So I'll give you.
So what are you saying? You're saying Baltimore,
Cincinnati. I'll give you Baltimore. I'll give you Cincinnati. And I'll give you one of
Raiders.
I'll go with the Raiders. Why not? Yeah, why not?
Wow, that's a spicy pick.
Why not?
That is a very spicy pick.
Look, on paper, they're not that bad. And the question that you have to ask yourself is how good or how much was Clint Kubiak responsible for the success with the offense? Like, was it more Mike McDonald or was it more Clint Kubiak? It's a question. I think it's a
defense. The defense is really good.
Exactly. So if you can take in back-to-back seasons, you can take Sam Darnold, make him what he was last year, and then you can take Sam Darnold, make him a Super Bowl winner, and then you can take Geno Smith, who was dog shit last year, and make him a Pro Bowler and go to the playoffs with that team. I mean, come on, what are we talking about here? So I don't know. And dude, Kirk Cousins. I mean, look, the guy was not even supposed to be the starter in Atlanta last year. He had a far better record with the Falcons than Penix could have ever dreamed. He's like 5-2. He was like 5-2 as the starter last year. And on top of that, Atlanta was one game out of a playoff spot with Kirk Cousins as their starting quarterback. Now you have Ashton Jeanty coming back. I think the only thing that you could probably get me on is the wide receiver room, but you do have Brock Bowers. But you got
Jack Bash.
Jack Bash. You got the best offensive line free agent, in my opinion, in Tyler Linderbaum, at arguably the most important position besides left tackle on the offensive line. You know, I think there's a lot to be desired with Colton Miller and DJ Glaze holding down the other sides of the line, but it got better for sure. And then you have Max Crosby, who's great. You have Adam Butler still. You've added Nakobe Dean, who, as we know, is a great eyes for the ball, hard hitter. Quay Walker they added. Kwity Paye they added. I think this, and with a fourth place schedule, I think this team could fly under the radar again.
That's.
Am I selling you at all?
No. I mean, you sold me to give him one more win, but that was about it.
Okay.
I have him at 6.
Dude, no, come on. We gotta be up there with 7 wins. 7. Give him 7 wins.
I don't know, man. That's wild.
I'd have to take a look. We're talking June
like
here.
that at all.
We're taking the June here. It's the June swoon.
I respect it. I have respect, but I don't know.
The O line and the
I think
secondary.
they're gonna be like one of those
bad.
those type of teams that's like a sneaky team. If they win against a team they shouldn't have a couple times, but like overall they
I can
probably
see
go
that.
for, like,
I can
6,
respect
7
it.
wins.
I can respect. All
I
right, so
don't
who are
see them as a playoff team.
your teams then?
My teams are the same as you. I got the Bengals and the Ravens. I think the Ravens is probably like everybody's easy pick. I think the Bengals as well. And then because I think there's too much talent on that team, and I think their schedule is low-key not that bad. And then I have the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are able to bounce back, and they're back in the playoffs next year.
Boring. Dude, Teron Johnson. We got Teron Johnson from Buffalo, too. Let's go Raiders. The autumn wind. The autumn wind is a Raider. That's all.
All right, and then I have one more final question for the AFC. I have to pull up the standings to remind myself. Also, every year, again with these like playoff changes, there's usually a team that goes from worst
to first.
So if you had to pick one team in the AFC that has the best shot to go from worst to first, who would it be?
All right.
Just as a reminder,
yeah, give me the teams.
Last year, the AFC East, it was the Jets. AFC North, it was the Browns. AFC South, it was the Titans. Then AFC West, it was the Raiders. I'm assuming pick will be the Raiders.
No, it won't be because I think Denver might go 15-2. I think they're that good.
Jeez. Really high on them.
Yeah, I'm really high on Denver this year. I think they're gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Damn, I think then we might have the same. I think we might have the same pick.
It's not gonna be the Jets. It just won't be. So that leaves it the Titans or the Browns. I mean, God, Titans or
your
Browns.
Quarterback Cam Ward.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Titans definitely
Robert
have
Saleh.
more upside. I mean, like
easier division.
You're assuming, so you're assuming worst case scenario here. I'm not particularly high on Jacksonville with the first place schedule, so maybe they jump them. Maybe Stroud just finishes the collapse, and they're having quarterback problems every week, and it's affecting the locker room, and the team can't play, something like that. And then the Colts are, the Colts are the Colts. Daniel Jones coming off the injury, maybe he's not the same guy. They don't have Michael Pittman anymore. They lean too much on Jonathan Taylor. Maybe there's an injury in there. I think it's probably the Titans only by virtue of, the Browns are talented. The Browns do have some talent on their roster, and I think they might be a little bit more well-rounded and put together than the Titans. I think both teams have a lot of question marks on the offensive line. But you do have, with Tennessee, Peter Skoronski looking to get a little bit better than he was last year. The offensive line for the Titans is it's a big question mark. Dan Moore, J.C. Latham, but then on the other side of the ball, right, Jeffrey Simmons is still there, leader on the team. John Franklin Myers. They just got Jermaine Johnson, which I learned today, or relearned today, maybe. Cam Ward will have to take a huge step forward. With the Raiders, I might be high on them, but I just don't think they're going to get anywhere close to Denver. The Jets, they're not going to compete with Buffalo or New England. And the Browns, I mean, you could easily say the Browns. You know what? I'll say the Browns.
Wow.
I'll say the Browns. I'll say the Browns only because the volatility in the AFC North, and you know this to be true. There was a lot of volatility in that division. Granted,
Wild.
I just don't have I am definitely more confident.
Way the Browns are gonna win the division.
I am definitely
That would be
more.
nutty.
I don't think either team is going to. I think there might be a team in the NFC that could do it. I just don't think there's going to be one in the AFC that does it. But yeah, I mean, if I think I have more confidence in Ken Ward and the offense to take the next step forward, especially with Cornell Tate. They got Wan'Dale Robinson, which I think is going to be a huge sleeper pick in fantasy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be really, really good in that offense. So I do like the upside with the Titans
You got
offense.
Sala calling on the defense.
You're selling.
Their defense was not bad.
You're selling me now on Tennessee, dude. Stop selling me.
I think it's Tennessee because I think
Tell me why.
honestly,
All right,
the
tell me.
Jags. I think out of all the division, I think Jets, no question, they're out. I think the Raiders, no question, they're out just because the division's too tough. I think the Broncos, like you said, I think they're really good next year.
I agree.
I think the North, I think the Ravens they're gonna win the division. I think the Browns are not good enough. I think the Titans have a lot of unknowns. I think the Titans are kind of well set up to be one of those surprise teams with a young quarterback that nobody was really expecting to do anything. We kind of get those all the time. Like last year was New England. It was like the Eagles in 2022 with Jalen Hurts. Like it's just a quarterback that like no one was really paying attention to.
Yeah.
Had some high spots. Honestly, their main issue last year was coaching because Brian Callahan's a hack. And I think you have a great coach now with Saleh. You have a great coordinator in Dable that's looking to prove himself. And the division in general, like, has a bunch of questions. Like Jacksonville, where they schedule merchants. They didn't have a great draft. Texans, Stroud, is he even the guy? And then the Colts, you got like the Colts, they've only made the playoffs like once, 9 years of Chris Ballard's run and everything. Like everybody there's on the hot seat, and Daniel Jones is coming off an Achilles. I just think that the Titans of all these teams is a very sneaky team. I actually don't have them, but maybe if I think about it a little more, I might pull them up because I'm still really high on Jacksonville, and I think I'm also high on the Texans. But I think if any of these teams has a legitimate shot, if I had to put bet on the horse in the race, I think the Titans have the best shot.
Dude, Cornell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson, Calvin Ridley. That's low-key pretty good. I think also you're taking a lot of pressure off Calvin Ridley. I think Calvin Ridley got a lot of shit.
I'm checking right now to see if Vegas agrees with me, but
they're probably to make the playoffs or to win the division?
To win the division.
Oh, they're definitely four figures.
Let's see who
gotta be four. You probably get that. I'll give you a number plus 2,000.
Let's see, plus 2,000 to win the division.
Yeah.
No way, right?
Plus 1,000.
Let's see. Browns are plus 18,000 to win the North.
Yeah.
Titans are plus 850 to win the South. Wow.
Yeah, it's not even remotely close.
Dolphins have the worst odds to win the East.
Yeah,
plus 3,500. So 3,500.
3,500?
Jets are Jets are 2,000. And then the West Raiders at 2,020. So Vegas agrees.
So the Titans have the best odds.
Team most likely to win their AFC.
850, you said?
Titans. 850.
So it's almost 1,000.
Significantly better odds than any of the other teams.
Yeah, that is crazy that they're like way better. All right, so I think that's probably a good stopping point for now. We'll maybe pick up the pace a little bit next week. To your point, I had a fun time going through this though, because I looking through these.
Questions.
I liked your questions too. I appreciate. I'm looking at these like the rosters. I like kind of figuring out who's with who now. I learned some stuff today. Cordell Flotz on the Tennessee Titans. He was a Giant last year. He was supposed to be really good and wasn't. Maybe he'll find a home in Tennessee. You're selling me a lot on Robert Saleh because I really do think Robert Saleh just got the short end.
Him up. We'll see what you have to say about the South next year.
It's only because it's the short end of the stick with New York, and I don't think he was necessarily.
The Jets suck.
Well, it was a lot of that, but it's also like he was in the spotlight and did not look good in it. He didn't interview well. Like he went back and forth a lot. So, but I think he was kind of handed a shit platter and he was forced to eat it. So maybe the eyes are a little bit off him in Tennessee now this year. It'll be a little bit better. So, Do you have a one more thing or no?
Knicks in 5.
So good. Let's go
It's
Knicks,
Knicks,
baby.
baby. Let's go
Let's go
Knicks.
Knicks. Game 1. What are you doing for game 1 tomorrow?
I'm watching it here with
Watching it
Sam,
there.
probably.
There you go.
Go Knicks.
I'm going out, I think. I'm going to go out into a bar and watch it.
Hmm.
Which I usually don't. If you want to come, I'm going to 2020, obviously. But if you want to come, you're
That
welcome
might be
to.
a little far after work.
Yeah, I
It's really
figured.
busy
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
all right. If it's a
But I will
weekday.
be watching the Knicks. We will be watching the Knicks to win game 1. Knicks in
I
5.
I
Kyle
would
in
love
5.
that.
Same thing.
I would love that, honestly. And you're getting on at a good time too. I think so. I think you're getting
We
on
love
at a
the
good
Knicks
time.
here. Go Knicks.
I could talk about my one more thing for approximately 7 hours, but I'll give you the quick 1 minute version of it. I don't know if you guys have heard about this bricks and minifigs situation going on. Have you heard about this, Kyle?
Now, what is this, like Lego?
So there's this company called Bricks and Minifigs. They have like 300 stores around the US. And this guy, they have like a bunch of like franchisees, right? So they have like the store owners have their own stores, whatever. This guy, like 2 years ago, he's like, my dad is dying. Like he has like bad medical problems. He's got the world's largest sealed Lego Star Wars collection. It's like worth like $200,000. So he goes
Oh,
to
wow.
his local bricks and minifig store, and they're like, oh, we can do a consignment agreement. So basically, the guy owns the Legos, and then the store will sell them and take a percentage, right? So it's going on for about a year or whatever. And then the people who own the store, they call corporate, and they're like, hey, we're planning on moving out of the country, right? We want to move out of the country. We want to sell our store. That night, they come in, they take all the Legos, and they say, this is ours now. And they say, oh, we're going to take on the consignment agreement. And then the guy who's like, hey, these are my Legos, he comes to get them because he's like, oh, they were selling them. I want them to sell them. I don't want you guys to have them. They're like, yeah, you can't have them. Go kick rocks. And if you try to take us to court to get the Legos back, we will, we'll just drag it out in court, whatever. So then this YouTuber comes along and he's like, oh, he's like one of these reactionary guys, right? He like is an investigative YouTuber or whatever. He starts poking the bear. He's like, he's going to the store, he's calling corporate, blah, blah, blah. So he gets like trespassed from the store. They're being really, really shady. Like the guys won't talk to him. Well, it turns out that the owners of Bricks and Minifigs, they all went to BYU. They're all from Utah. And then there's this one guy who lives in American Fork. So our boy, the YouTuber, Reckless Ben, go look it up. He goes to American Fork because he's trying to talk to him. And he gets trespassed. The police won't let him anywhere near the house. They unlawfully arrest him and his crew. They make an illegal traffic stop. They've illegally redacted body cam footage so that you can't hear them talking about it, but they've got some of it on tape where they're like, oh, we're just trying to scare him, blah, blah, blah. Basically, all this unlawful shit. They throw him in a jail cell for like absolutely nothing. They're just trying to intimidate him. And now Bricks and Minifigs has they suited up. They brought in this huge conglomerate law firm, and they're trying to hit him with a RICO charge because they have a search warrant out for Reckless Ben, and he fled to Mexico to avoid the police harassment. But now he's filed a civil suit. They're trying to make it a RICO case. It's story of the year stuff. They all go to like the same. They're all Mormons. They all go to the same church. The Fourth Circuit judge who signed the search warrant, he went to school with the owners of Bricks and Minifigs. It's I could go down the rabbit hole with this case. It might be story of the year. Go look up Reckless Ben on YouTube if you're interested. I think it's fascinating.
That's a very interesting story.
Go Knicks.
Go Knicks. Knicks and
all
5.
that to say is go Knicks. But yeah, all right. So
Knicks
we got
and Figs.
Knicks and Figs. We got another show next Tuesday. We'll see. Kyle'll sleep on it. We'll see if we do more shows in the off season. I know what we're gonna have. Maybe we'll only do one in August. I don't know. We'll see if we're getting caught up now. We will be back next week though, June 9th, same time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on YouTube.
Talk more about the AJ Brown trade.
Yes. We'll try and get into some of the NFC action since we only got
half from that
of the AFC.
The ghost.
But we'll try and get around to all your teams. It's so fun. I miss football, man. I miss football.
AJ.
I miss yapping every Tuesday. That's what I miss. That's for damn sure.
Fill the hole in my heart when they win What else will I do?
We are AJ Brown.
We are AJ Brown.
Yeah. AJ Brown kind of died for his sins. Aaron, thanks for hanging out with us live on the live stream. Appreciate you. All right, we'll be back next week. Enjoy your night. Bye, everybody.